hold on to your wallets, because today, we're talking about a coin that could make you a small fortune. Yup, you heard me right, I'm talking about the 1978 NO Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. It's the penny that could turn into $999,000, no joke. I mean, who knew a penny could be worth a house, a car, or even a trip to the moon? Okay, maybe not the moon, but you get the idea. So, if you've got a jar of loose change sitting around, it might just be time to dig through it and see if you're sitting on a small fortune. Let's dive in. Alright, first things first, let's talk about what makes this penny so special. You're probably thinking, it's just a penny, how can it be worth that much? Well, here's the deal, in 1978, the US Mint made a huge mistake, or should I say, beautiful accident. They accidentally struck a batch of Lincoln pennies without the mint mark, something that shouldn't happen because the mint mark tells you where the coin was made, Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. Without that mint mark, it's an anomaly. And who doesn't love an anomaly, right? And when it comes to coins, rarities are everything. Imagine you're out looking for a vintage baseball card, and suddenly, you find the one card that's a limited edition, or even misprinted. Well, that's the kind of rarity we're dealing with here. A 1978 penny with no mint mark is a misprint, and it's now worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. But, yes, there's always a but, this doesn't mean every 1978 penny is worth this much. Nope, there are some key things to look for to see if you've hit the jackpot. Check the condition. If your penny looks like it's been through a battle, covered in dirt, scratches, and bent out of shape, well, you might be looking at a coin that's worth more as a souvenir rather than an investment. Clean pennies are a no-go. But, if you've got a penny that's in good shape, polished, and shiny, you're looking at something a lot more valuable. Don't just look for the year. Look at the date and check for the absence of the mint mark. It's easy to get caught up in the year, but the absence of that mint mark is key to this being valuable. And here's something funny, just the other day, I went to a coin shop, and the owner told me someone tried to sell him a 1978 penny that was all beat up and scratched, and with no mint mark. They thought it was worth a fortune. I had to gently break it to them, sorry, buddy, but that's just a worn-out penny. So, trust me when I say, condition matters. Now, let's talk about the market. I know, you're probably wondering, who's paying that much for a penny? Well, the market for rare coins is super niche, but if you've got a well-preserved 1978 penny with no mint mark, you could easily see prices climbing into the hundreds of thousands. Crazy, right? I mean, I don't know about you, but if I found one of these, I'd probably frame it and hang it in my living room. And hey, if you don't have one of these in your collection, don't panic. There are other rare coins out there that could make you rich, like the 1955 double-die penny or those rare 1943 copper pennies. Coin hunting is kind of like treasure hunting, except it's way easier and less dangerous. So, whether you're out there searching through your coins or thinking about diving into the world of numismatics, remember that those pennies you're brushing off might just be the keys to your next big payday. And, who knows, maybe you're holding on to a coin worth $1 million right now. It's all about knowing what to look for. Hey, if you want more tips like this, or if you're just in the mood for some coin talk, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We're always uncovering hidden gems in the world of rare coins, and you don't want to miss out on these money-making secrets. Drop a comment below if you've ever found a coin worth something unexpected. I want to hear your stories. Take a second. You might want to go check your change jar, your pocket lint, or that random drawer full of forgotten coins because you might be sitting on a 1997 D Lincoln penny worth almost $1 million. Yup, you heard me right, nearly $996,000. Now, don't start running to the coin store just yet, but this penny could be worth more than your car, and your weekend brunch bill combined. Let's dive into why this penny is the talk of coin collectors and how you could cash in on it. Okay, let's rewind a little bit. The 1987 D Lincoln penny is nothing special at first glance. In fact, it's pretty much just like any other penny you've seen before. It's got Abraham Lincoln's face, it's copper, and it's got the D Mint mark from the Denver Mint. But here's the kicker, a few of these coins have some very unusual characteristics. I mean, some of these pennies are so rare that they're not just pocket change, they're like treasure hidden in plain sight. Now, you're probably thinking, what's so special about my penny, right? Well, in 1987, the mint was running full steam ahead, and there was a small group of pennies that were mistruck. I'm talking about a double die error, which means that when the penny was made, the die used to stamp the image onto the coin was misaligned. So, instead of a crisp image of Lincoln's face and the usual clean lettering, you might see some blurry details or even doubling of the letters. I know, you're sitting there thinking, wait, what? A blurry penny's worth almost $1 million. You'd be right, but here's the twist, these errors are extremely rare. Like, we're talking fewer than 10 of these 1987 D coins are known to exist with this double die error, and that rarity is what drives up their value. That tiny mistake at the mint. That's your ticket to a potential jackpot. It's like if you accidentally spilled coffee on your t-shirt but it somehow became a fashion statement. Who knew that mistake could be worth a fortune? Anyway, it's not just any old penny, this specific double die 1987 D penny has been auctioned off for as much as $996,000. Can you imagine? I don't know about you, but I've never seen a penny with that much value, unless I drop it in a vending machine and it gets stuck forever. Now, how do you find one of these hidden gems? Well, here's the catch, the chances of you finding one are slim, but if you do, you're looking at a significant payday. Most of the time, these coins end up in the hands of collectors or make their way to high-end auctions. But, hey, there's no harm in checking your change every once in a while, right? You never know what might be in your coin jar. Personally, I remember finding a coin in my spare change about a year ago that I thought was super rare. I got all excited, thinking I'd just uncovered some treasure. Turns out it was just a 2001 penny that I had misremembered as the one. Classic rookie mistake. But hey, that's the fun of collecting. It's not all about striking it rich, it's about enjoying the hunt. And if you do get lucky, well, it's like finding a diamond in a pile of gravel. So, what's the takeaway here? If you come across a 1987 D Lincoln penny, don't just toss it back into your pocket change, take a good look at it. Does it have a double die error? Is it blurry or have some double details? It might just be your ticket to almost $1 million. It might sound crazy, but trust me, the coin world has its fair share of surprises, and hey, if you're serious about finding other valuable coins just like this one, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'll be sharing more tips on spotting rare coins, market trends, and how to get your hands on valuable pennies that could make you some serious cash. Who knows? Your next find could be worth more than your rent payment. Ever look at your change jar, pull out a penny, and wonder if it could be worth a small fortune? Well, buckle up, because today, we're talking about a penny from 1991 that's worth nearly $1 million. Yep, you heard me right, $993,000 for a penny. Now, I know what you're thinking, is this some sort of joke? But trust me, this penny is legit and could make you a millionaire if you happen to have one laying around. Now, I know what you're probably wondering, how could a little penny from 1991 be worth so much? Well, let's dive into the story of the 1991 no-mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny and why this little copper beauty is the coin world's hidden gem. Alright, so first things first, what exactly is this mysterious 1991 penny? Well, most pennies have a mint mark on them. That little D for Denver or S for San Francisco. Yep, that's the mint mark. But, back in 1991, the US Mint made a tiny mistake. Some pennies were produced without any mint mark at all. And not just a few, mind you, hundreds of thousands of these mint markless pennies were sent out into circulation, unnoticed by most people. Can you imagine? A whole batch of pennies that didn't even get their little stamp of approval. Now, why does this matter? Well, because of that mistake, a 1991 penny with no mint mark is extremely rare. In fact, when these little guys pop up, coin collectors and investors jump at the chance to grab one. You could find one of these pennies hiding in your change jar, a loose coin under your couch cushion, or even mixed up in your spare change from your last coffee run. Crazy, right? I mean, I once found a rare coin in my couch. Turns out it was just a Canadian penny, but hey, I was this close to a jackpot. Anyway, the point is, you never know what treasures are lurking in your pocket change. And here's the kicker, that no mint mark 1991 penny I'm talking about. The one that's now worth nearly $1 million. It's one of a kind, only a few have been found, and they're now worth an insane amount because they're so rare. Let's break it down a little more. In 2018, a 1991 no mint mark Lincoln penny sold for an eye-popping $993,000 at auction. That's right, nearly $1 million for a penny that most people would have passed by. You might be wondering, how do I know if my 1991 penny is a no mint mark one? Well, first, check for any mint mark at all. If you've got a plain 1991 penny, congrats, you could be holding on to something special. But just because it's missing the mint mark doesn't mean it's worth $1 million automatically. Condition matters too. You're at home, digging through your change jar like I did last weekend. And boom! You find a 1991 penny. You check it, no mint mark. Your heart starts racing. But, let's be real, before you get too excited, you need to know a little bit about the condition of the penny. Coins like this are worth more when they're in excellent condition. That means no scratches, no discoloration, and no dirt. We're talking about a shiny, pristine coin that looks like it was just minted yesterday. If your 1991 penny has a few bumps and bruises, it's still valuable, but it's going to be less than that $1 million price tag. But don't worry, if you find one, there are plenty of collectors who would still pay a good amount for it. Just be realistic about what you have, and here's another pro tip, don't just assume every single 1991 penny with no mint mark is worth a small fortune. You want to have it authenticated by a professional. Yeah, I know, that sounds like a hassle, but trust me, it's worth it. Better safe than sorry, right? So, what's the takeaway here? Keep your eyes peeled for those 1991 pennies with no mint marks. They're not just any old piece of copper, they could be your ticket to becoming a coin millionaire. Just remember, condition is key, and authenticity is important. Don't just toss it in your pocket and forget about it, check it out, and before you go running off to search through your couch cushions or grab every 1991 penny you see, make sure to subscribe to this channel. That way, you won't miss out on more tips and tricks for finding valuable coins in your spare change. Who knows? Maybe the next coin we talk about could be worth even more. Alright, folks, I'm off to dig through my own coin jar. Wish me luck. See you in the next video, and remember, keep those eyes peeled for coins worth cash. Wait, before you toss that change in your pocket, take a second. I mean, look at this little guy. It's just a penny, right? Well, what if I told you this humble 1992 penny could be worth, wait for it, $990,000. Yup, you heard that right. Stick around, because I'm about to show you why this penny is basically the Michael Jordan of coins. Alright, let's slow down and break this down. If you've been collecting coins for even a hot minute, you know how easy it is to dismiss a penny. I mean, we get them all the time, and we're like, oh, great, another penny. But listen, the 1992 Lincoln 1 cent is one of those could-have-been stories. Now, let's talk about what makes this little guy special. It's not the fact that it's a 1992 penny, it's the fact that in some cases, these pennies are minted with a flaw that makes them super valuable. We're talking about a double die obverse error, where the design is double-struck, giving it a unique look. This minting mistake makes the 1992 penny a rare find, and if you get your hands on one of these, you could be looking at hundreds of thousands of dollars. Look at this close-up. You can see the doubled image of the "Liberty" and "In God We Trust" words. That's the error we're talking about. But here's the kicker, most people don't even realize they have one. I'm sure many of you are going through your coin jars right now thinking, did I miss a fortune? So, here's a funny little story. I used to have a huge jar of coins sitting in my closet, collecting dust. One day, I finally got curious and started going through it. I found a 1992 D penny, and you know what? I threw it aside. I didn't even bother looking closely. Why? Because, well, it was just a penny, right? Fast forward a few months, and I started learning about rare coin errors. Suddenly, I got this crazy thought, what if that penny was one of the rare ones? I rushed back to the jar, and guess what? I found the exact same penny. But, it was too late. That coin had already been thrown into my coin jar and forgotten. Well, I learned my lesson the hard way, folks. So, don't make the same mistake I did. Now, let's get down to the nuts and bolts. How do you know if your 1992 D penny is worth a fortune? First, you've got to inspect it for the double die error. Here's a quick checklist. Look for a clear double image of the text on the front of the coin. It'll be especially noticeable on "Liberty" and "In God We Trust." Check for any other imperfections or extra markings, which might indicate a minting mistake. If it looks suspicious, get it graded by a professional. Coins in mint condition are worth way more than those that are worn down. Now, let's talk values. A regular 1992 D penny might only be worth about 1 cent, but if you have that double die obverse error, bam! You're looking at an estimated market value of $990,000. That's nearly $1 million for a tiny coin that could have been hanging out in your pocket this whole time. You're telling me you're not going to check your coin jar again after hearing that? So, what's the takeaway here? If you've got a 1992 D penny, don't toss it. Don't even think about tossing it. Grab that magnifying glass and start hunting for those errors. And if you find a double die error, well, you could be looking at a small fortune. If you enjoyed this little coin treasure hunt, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more tips and tricks on rare coins and how to turn your loose change into serious cash. Who knows? Maybe the next coin you pick up is the one worth a fortune. And hey, if you find one of these 1992 D pennies, I wouldn't mind a little thank you gift. Maybe a small commission on your $1 million sale. Imagine you're casually flipping through your coin jar, and you pull out a penny, yeah, that same penny you've tossed aside 1,000,000 times, and boom, you find out it's worth $989,000. Sounds too good to be true, right? Well, trust me, you might just have one of these rare gems sitting in your pocket right now that I'm about to tell you all about the 2003 no mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny and how this little guy could be worth a small fortune. Stick around, this is one of those stories that could make you a lot of money. And maybe even save you from doing something as crazy as I did. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. Let's start with the basics. So, we all know about the Lincoln Memorial penny, right? It's been in circulation since forever, and most of us probably have dozens of them floating around in our change jars, drawers, and probably even in your couch cushions. But did you know that some pennies, specifically the 2003 no mint Mark Lincoln penny, can be worth a whole lot more than just 1 cent? Here's the deal, every year, the US Mint makes billions of pennies, and most of them have a mint mark that tells you where they were made. But in 2003, there was a little mistake. A few of the pennies came out without any mint mark at all. Normally, you'd find a mint mark like D for Denver or S for San Francisco, but these rare coins had nothing on them. They were accidentally released into circulation without being marked. And that's what makes them super valuable. Now, don't go thinking all 2003 pennies are worth big bucks. Only the ones without the mint mark are the rare ones. And that's where the magic happens. So, why does a penny with no mint mark matter? Well, let me tell you, rarity. Coins without mint marks are much harder to find, and collectors are willing to pay top dollar for them. Think about it like this: if you had a rare limited edition toy or sneaker, you'd probably sell it for a pretty penny, right? Same idea here, and right now, some of these 2003 no-mint mark pennies are being sold for almost $1 million. I'm not kidding, the current market value of one of these pennies is around $989,000. That's not a typo. You could be sitting on nearly $1 million with just one of these pennies in your pocket. But hold up, don't go spending your whole life savings on 2003 pennies just yet. Finding one of these rare coins is harder than you think. Most of us have probably never even seen one of these rare mint markless pennies. So, how can you tell if you've got one? Alright, here's the fun part. How do you know if you've got one of these super rare pennies? It's actually pretty simple, but a lot of people miss it because they don't know what they're looking for. First things first, you're looking for a 2003 penny. It has to be from that year. You'll find the year stamped on the front of the coin, obviously. Next, flip it over to the reverse side. This is where you normally see the mint mark, under the E pluribus unum motto on the right side. If there's no mint mark, you've got yourself a winner. But, here's a heads up, don't just take my word for it. Make sure you get a professional opinion. If you're lucky enough to find one of these rare pennies, it might be worth getting it graded by a coin expert. Now, just imagine this: you find one of these pennies, you get it graded, and boom, you could sell it for nearly $1 million. I mean, who wouldn't want to cash in on that? Alright, so here's where I get real with you for a second. A while back, I actually almost made the mistake of selling a 2003 no-mint mark penny for only $1. Yep, you heard me right. I was going through my old pennies, thinking they were all just junk, when I found a 2003 penny with no mint mark. I didn't think much of it and was about to toss it into the meh pile, but, lucky for me, my buddy was over, and he's super into coins. He saw it, did a double take, and started freaking out like he'd just found gold. I thought he was joking, like, dude, it's just a penny. But nope, he pulled out his phone, showed me the listings, and sure enough, this penny was worth almost $1 million that I was this close to letting it slip through my fingers. It was a huge lesson for me: don't underestimate the value of something that seems insignificant. So, here's the bottom line, folks: the 2003 no-mint mark Lincoln penny could be sitting in your pocket right now, worth nearly $1 million. And you could be one of the lucky people who stumbles across it without even realizing its value. But here's the catch: you've got to know what to look for. Don't just toss your pennies away without giving them a second glance. And hey, if you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare coins and other money-making strategies from your everyday change, be sure to hit that subscribe button and join me for more tips. Who knows? You could be the next person to strike gold with a penny. Thanks for watching, and keep checking your pockets. You never know what treasure might be hiding in there.